Southeast Asia, beginning from the 1st century AD, was the seat of the Srivijaya Empire. It reached its prominence 700 years later. Its vast empire stretching from Kedah to some parts of the island of Java. Facing the Straits of Malacca, the capital city of Srivijaya Empire, Palembang, sits at the mouth of Musi River. The port was the center of trade between the west and the east. Abu Zaid in 1916 AD spoke of Sribuza, a land of gold and silver. According to the Malay Annals or Sejarah Melayu, written 500 years ago by Tun Sri Lanang, Srivijaya was the birthplace of the Malay race. "15 kilometers from Palembang city is the site of Siguntang Hill, the hill mentioned in the Malay Annals where the three Suran kings, descendants of Alexander the Great, came down from a flying ship. They founded Srivijaya Empire in the 1st century AD. Because of its profound effect on the history of the Malay race, the site is the subject of a deep research by the historian Dr. Johan Hanafiah. Dr. Johan claims that Pangeran Parameswara was the last of the Srivijayan Sultanate. During the onslaught of the Majapahit army from Java in the early 14th century, and his stubbornness to submit to the Majapahit king led him to flee Palembang with his followers to Temasek, and eventually he founded Malacca.
Orang suku laut ini bersama-sama dia dengan sumpah setianya mendirikan kerajaan Melaka. Bukti cukup kuat bahwa Parameswara, pangeran dari Palembang, memang adalah pendiri kerajaan Melaka, baik menurut legend atau.
During the period of Palembang's grandeur under the Muslim rule, beginning from the late 14th century AD, after the fall of Srivijaya and Majapahit Empire, the capital city of the Mataram civilization became a center for the spread of Islam in the region. Notable among the sultans responsible for this deed was Sultan Mahmud Badaruddin Jaya Wiskromo. Today, his mosque, the Masjid Agong, stands majestic in a strategic location in the city. According to a historian, during the Dutch colonial era of Indonesia, Masjid Agong is one of the most beautiful buildings in Asia. The mosque was erected in 1511 Hijrah, or in the 1738 AD. His effort to enhance the Islamic religion was supported by the ulamas and Islamic missionaries, notably amongst them Abdul Samad al-Palembangi. As a Muslim leader, the Sultan at that time was the Imam of this mosque. The history of Palembang is long. It spanned to nearly 1,000 years. The culture is rich and the tradition is well preserved, enriched by the Srivijaya, Majapahit and the Mataram civilization. Lest it is forgotten, these young faces uphold the tradition of Palembang handed down from their forefathers over the ages. In Palembang, Islam has become a way of life. It is reflected in the rituals and the cultural behavior of the people. This traditional wedding ceremony, for example, is interlaced with colorful merging of the Majapahit norms and the Mataram traditions, influenced by Islamic beliefs and faith. Islam, which was made known to the Palembang civilization as early as the 10th century AD by Muslim traders plying the seas into this region, was further consolidated by ulamas and the religious teachers after the fall of the Srivijaya and Majapahit empires. The Straits of Sunda separates Palembang from the main island, but the separation is only physical. This straits was not only the home of pirates and the sea warriors, but it was also the passage of traders, armies and missionaries plying the short, narrow route between Palembang and the main island Java. It is a small wonder, therefore, that relations between the two main islands of Indonesia are closely interrelated as a case of the Muslim propagation in this region. The spread of Islam in Palembang was carried out by the Mataram Empire from West Java in the 15th century. But such an event would not have happened if 200 years earlier Demak did not surface as the first Muslim sultanate. Demak was the home of the 9 saints, or locally known as Wali Sembilan. Located on the far east of the Java island, Demak was the center from which Islam spread throughout Java through the wisdom of the 9 saints. It was initially spread by peaceful means, and the people and the royal house readily accepted the faith. In Demak stands the most respected and well-known mosque in the Malay archipelago, the Masjid Demak. This grand mosque, built in the 15th century, is the legacy of the 9 saints and has been receiving visitors ever since. The 9 saints were responsible for the enhancement and consolidation of the Islamic faith introduced by the Arab traders since the beginning of the 10th century. Behind the legends and the events that shroud the existence of this mosque, one fact that cannot be denied is that the 9 saints were responsible in converting the people of Java into Islam and live united as a nation. This mosque has not only influenced